Hello, all of you out there. My pleasure to welcome you to this episode of Cross Cultural Experiences. My name is Uche Onyebadi. And if you're a regular visitor to this site, you know that all I do is I just talk to somebody, my guest, who must have left his or her culture of origin, traveled to some other place, experienced something else, is willing to share with other members of my audience. And more importantly, I always ask, what did you learn from that experience? Because it's very important. When you cross from one culture to another, you must realize that you're no longer operating on the same frequency that you're used to. This is another place, and you must learn to respect what goes on there because no culture is actually superior to the other one. There's no inferior one, there's no superior one. It's just that people do things differently, and you're in their midst. It's upon you to learn, how they do things. Okay, before I start telling you my story today, because I am the guest as well as the host, which I do from time to time. If you want to get in touch with me and be a guest on this program, all you need to do is to email me, crossculturalexperiences@gmail.com. Crossculturalexperiences@gmail.com. I'll get back to you and then we can start chatting from there. All right. What do I have for you today? Two experiences. I visited the US long time ago, and I believe it was in Washington, D.C. I was crossing the street, and you press the cross button, and then it gives you the go ahead. But after a while, it starts counting down, telling you that, hey, you have to hurry up because it's almost time. So as I was going, crossing the street, I noticed that there was a very old elderly person, elderly man behind me, and there was no way he would make it because it had started counting down. This is a very, very busy place, cars going left, right, center, wherever. So it just the African in me. So I stepped back, and then went to help the man. And I said, okay, may I help you cross? Hey, I was the greatest mistake of my life. Now the man screamed, why? Who? I was shocked. I said, what's going on here? I want to help you. Who told you I needed help? Gee, I didn't know what was going on. I said, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just walked across and I left him moving, struggling. The old man he was struggling to, of course, he didn't make it in time. The thing went red. And then, it goes red, then it gives the other cars the signal, the green signal to just come across. But the drivers were very patient. They waited for him to, the old man he was, you couldn't blame him. So he just walked across, and I just took one more look at him, and I was wondering, what kind of society is this? That an old man who clearly needed help will scream at you when you offer the help. Is it a society that doesn't help all elderly people so that when you want to help one of them, the person thinks that it is something else? Is it a society where people are so individualistic that if you try to enter their space, it almost becomes a crime? Now, I was coming from, as an African, as a Nigerian, I was coming from a culture where there was no way I could have seen that kind of man in Lagos or Abuja or Accra in Ghana or anywhere in Africa, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya. There was no way I could have left that man to struggle crossing the road. I would have gone back to. So it was just that African in me, but I learned a bitter lesson that cultures are different. That even an old man who was at the point of being hit by a car, maybe it is not their business to go and save him. But that was what I was doing. And the man screamed, and I was asking myself, what if some policemen were around? The way he screamed, they might have thought something was amiss, and then something else will develop from there. So I learned my lesson that you have to be strategic, even when you're helping people. So that has been all When I see that somebody needs some help, I know how to approach the person, very, very strategic, gauge, let my own thinking inform me that this person actually needs some help, especially when I get a reaction from that person, and then I help if I can. Otherwise, I'll just pray for you, go ahead, whatever it is, just go on. So that was a lesson I learned, and it still guides me to today. Don't let not your first impulse be to jump in and start helping. You might just get the kind of reaction I got. Who told you I needed help? So I was shocked. Anyway, that's the society I met as at that time. Well, maybe things have changed. I don't know, but there was no way. I could have seen that man in any African country and then I don't go to help. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. And I don't think there's any African who will not do what I did. But you know what? The environment was different. People were thinking differently. Maybe because I don't know. I really cannot say, what was wrong. But some facts are there. I was black, he was white. I have no idea. I'm not making any connection, but who knows? Okay, let's go to another environment. This was China in, I believe, in 2017. So I had gone there on official business, and I was with my colleague who is an Indian, and we had gone to, I think it was Xi'an, the place, if I'm not making a mistake. And then we were just walking around, soaking in the environment. China is beautiful, trees all over the place. And I mean, and then by where you can go and do your exercise, bikes and all that. I was just enjoying myself and then watching human traffic because there were too many people. All right. So as we were walking along, I noticed, I think it was a park, and there I saw a group of people elderly, old. When I say old, old, because I asked some of them, how old are you? 83. And you, 90 something. So they were very old, men, women, and they were just dancing, graciously dancing, enjoying themselves. And I mean, it was so exquisite. You couldn't, and it blended with the environment. So everything was calm. It was just like, I've never been to the other paradise, but this gave me an inkling what paradise might just look like. All people were enjoying themselves. So I just approached one of the ladies, one of the elderly ladies. I think she was 80 something years old. I can't remember. I said, I don't speak Mandarin. She didn't speak English. So I just began me join you, join, can I join? Oh, she said, come, 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 come. Very, very welcoming. Oh, I said, oh, okay, this is a totally different environment. So I joined her and we danced. We just held hands, danced, danced. Everybody was watching as if, I'm sure some people were recording. I also have my own video because my colleague, I told him to video it. So we danced and I was just enjoying myself. I said, wow, what's going on here? That was when I was, immediately after the dance, I just thanked. I said, Sheshe, like thank you. And then he was very happy that I even attempted to speak the language. And I even added, I said, Sheshe, oh, meaning see you tomorrow, see you another. She was so happy, so we left. That was when I started asking questions, the journalist in me. I discovered that elderly people all over the country, that's what they do. In the morning, before the sun comes out, you just see them enjoying themselves. Some people will be dancing, others will be doing yoga, all sorts of exercise, and they were looking very trim and fit. They just go back. I don't know where they go. Then in the evening, they come back, and do the same. And life was so sweet. Hey, I said, this is a place to be. Anyway, so as we were leaving, with my Indian friend, the guy looked at me and said, Uche, so where did you learn how to dance this Chinese, the song? Was it Chinese? I didn't know what it was. I told him, my friend, have you forgotten that I'm an African? Africans don't learn how to dance, they just dance. It doesn't matter the music. They just dance and dance and enjoy themselves. So It could be Indian music, Malaysian music, from Singapore, from wherever you want, China, India, South Africa, which is also in South Africa. You can be in Cuba. Africans don't learn how to dance. They just dance because songs and music, those things are part and parcel of the culture. So whenever it rings in your head, hey, you just dance, do whatever you want to do, push it this way, take it this other way, just gyrate, 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 and then you go your way. That's how we do things. You don't need to be a student of music in order to enjoy yourself. So it taught me something. Societies are different. Some societies are similar, others are totally different. It's only when you go to a totally different environment, then you learn how they do things and you join them. When you go back to your place where you are king, that's fine. You can be the king over there. So long as you're in a different environment, it's on you to do as they do. Isn't that why they say when you're in Rome, behave like the Romans? I didn't invent it. Okay. Let us say you want to join me as my guest, or you have a friend who wants to join me having watched this. All you need to do is get in touch with me. Crossculturalexperiences at gmail.com. Crossculturalexperiences at gmail.com. I'll get back to you and then we can take things from there. And when you watch this, as you're watching it for the very first time, you'll see where you can press and then see all the 70 something episodes we have done so far, where I have had guests from you name it. And then from time to time, I present what my experiences have been. All right. I want to thank you for paying attention, for watching, and I will see you next time. Meanwhile, stay blessed and stay out of trouble. Bye for now.